wonder they say shall never end. They said Ebony was in disbelief over the kind of family betrayal that she got. You know, when I hear this, I say, why would she be in disbelief? Huh? Is it not the same cup that she have been using to measure for the jewel that they wanted to use to measure for her? Why would she be that surprised? Because maybe it's because it's coming from her own family. She never expected it, you know. But come to think of it, the jewel saw her as a friend while she was in the palace, and yet she betrayed her. So she shouldn't be surprised, because whatever that you wish others in life, that is what you end up getting. So Ebony was still accusing Priestess Yemi. Ebony did not know that the bigger plan is awaiting her. According to the information, they said the ruling house where Ebony comes from, they are very big, very massive. In their ruling house, they have notable men and women. And in numbers, they are large in number. And that is why they said they have been intimidating other ruling houses for years until it gets to the Ogunsi's family, you know. And when it gets to the king's family right now, they said Ebony's family have promised the king that he is going to get their support only if he choose bride from their lineage, as in from their ruling house. And because of the fact that they said, because of how influential and notable and educated and the number of their own ruling house, if they support you, you have a very smooth reign as a king. But if they want to be against you, that throughout your reign as a king, you'll be having serious problems. And that is why the king, this present king, doesn't want problems, and he chose to marry from their ruling house, you know. But from the information, they said about 9 extended families, 9 big families is what made up this ruling house. In as much as they are being called one ruling house, they said inside that one ruling house, that there are 9 families, 9 big families, and each family have other branches and all of that. So they are the ones that make up that ruling house. Then maybe they did not discuss it, that okay, look at the families that will choose, that the king will choose brides from and all of that. So according to what we're hearing, Blow came from one of the ruling houses, one. Ebony, on the other hand, came from another ruling house. Then it is remaining about 7 other ruling houses that also want to have the opportunity that Blow's family and Ebony's family have. So, from what we are hearing right now, they said those other families, all of them want to share the national cake. They want to enjoy the national mai. You know, they want to be enjoying the revenue that comes from the palace and all of that. And that is why when Ebony started misbehaving, they started finding a way to replace her. And they said in that family, in that ruling house, one thing that they do so much is too much competition. Competition. And that competition makes them to always be kind of, they are always educated, they are always influential, as in they tend to grow themselves in order to outsmart and they challenge others and all of that. So most of their ladies are educated, learned. But sometimes in life, you might acquire certificates, but when you don't have sense, you don't have sense. Sorry to use it like that, but it's not all about certificate. It's not all about qualification in life. Sometimes ordinary wisdom, anyway, wisdom is not ordinary. Wisdom helps you in managing certain situation and all of that. So sometimes it's not all about education, you know. So in as much as many of them are educated, people like Ebony, if everything we're hearing is the truth about her, it simply means that she have the certificate, but the wisdom is not there. So they said these other families have started making arrangements, and the woman they want to bring into the palace is one of the most educated, influential, wealthy, beautiful. They said Ebony like to hype herself, but when it comes to this lady in question, they said the lady is a surgeon. they're based in Canada, and she is doing great for herself and for the family. So this is the person that they want to use and replace Ebony. So when Ebony was busy accusing Priestess Yemi, in as much as they said Priestess Yemi wanted her daughter to be there, but at some point, when the daughter was seeing it as so much competition and all of that, they said the daughter wasn't that much interested again and all of that. So Ebony, they said the Priestess Yemi was helping Ebony before, not until Ebony started misbehaving, until her story in the palace become a bad one. Then they know that very soon, if she did not respect herself, that the king would want to send her out. And that is why they started planning on how to replace her before they will lose that opportunity completely. Because from what we are hearing, if at the end of the day the king does that ituase on Ebony, it is not just going to affect Ebony alone. It is not just going to affect the particular family that Ebony comes alone. It is also going to affect the ruling house where she comes from. And in order for Ebony not to ruin things for the whole family, that is why you see them intervene during that time. That is why you see them trying to tell the king, no, don't do it like this, please. It's going to affect a lot of people. Don't do it like this. And the king, on the other hand, knew that it is also going to affect him. Because if at the end of the day he did that, it will affect the ruling house where Ebony is coming from. And because of how supportive they can be, if they don't support you on the throne and they start fighting you, you will also have a problem. So what sometimes they say, if the king wants to take certain action, he will also think in the aspect of political aspect of that marriage and all of that, because we all know that that marriage between the king and Ebony is not based on love. It is based on politics. Yes, it is based on you must choose a bride from our ruling house. And because Ebony had fixed herself in the palace, she ran back to the palace the moment she find out that the king had become a king. He left the man that she was with. She left the man that she was with and returned back to the palace. So when they are talking about you must choose the bride, you must choose the Ebony was there already. Yes. And when it got hot, because it's beginning to look like the king doesn't even want to pick the bride as promised, because they were there. He went and married that Wurola. And Wurola is not from there. After that, when Wurola left, he also went ahead to marry Queen Naomi and all of that, to tell you that he never wanted to, marry from their lineage. But maybe the pressure was high and he decided to pick them. And because they say he has been in a good relationship with Blo Blo, he married them, and at the end of the day, Ebony started messing up. So another ruling house started planning to replace her with their daughter. And they said when Ebony found out about it, she was so shattered, because to her, she was expecting that all of them would join force and support her in that marriage. And that is why they say she is always very angry with Blo Blo for not supporting her. Why would Blo Blo support you when you are not doing well? Anyway, guys, that is what we are hearing if the information is true. I want to remind you that these are all alleged unverified information making rounds on social media and shouldn't be seen as fact unless you verify them. Thanks for watching. Bye. Love you.